Welcome to Reddit Blue Pill Red Pill, where we go over Reddit stories and predict the outcome of the stories by choosing the blue pill or the red pill. Please listen and play along by typing in your choices into the comments. Today we have a story about a wife who became angry when her husband treated her in the same way she had treated him previously. Alright, let's get on to the story.
My Christmas present from my husband in 2013 were tickets to see a musician I absolutely love. I love their music and really enjoy it, so I was really happy and grateful my husband got me tickets. It was kind and thoughtful, and I told him how much I appreciate it. He got me 2 tickets, so I invited my sister and we made a girly weekend of it. My husband was upset that I didn't take him. He'd bought the tickets for us to go together. I pointed out that it was a gift to me, so I could decide who to take, and most importantly, I feel he would have ruined the experience. I'm a super fan of this artist, and my husband is kind of a super hater. He pokes fun and criticizes everything: music, lyrics, looks. He just shits on it because he thinks they're overrated and need knocking down. We've had words about this and why he feels the need to do that, and we can't agree. Anyway, I chose to go with my sister because I needed someone who would match my energy and genuinely enjoy the concert. My husband said this was him making an effort to get into my world, and I denied him that. I apologized and thought that was that.
Okay, so who here thinks the OP was correct in taking her sister over her husband? On the one hand, when a spouse purchases a gift that involves 2 people, most would assume it was meant to be enjoyed as a couple. However, perhaps her husband did not specify if he even wanted to go. Also consider that he hates the musician, so perhaps she assumed he didn't want to go anyway. If you believe it was right of the OP to take her sister, type Q1 blue into the comments. If you believe it was not correct, type Q1 red.
Fast forward to this year. I bought my husband tickets to a major football game. Now, I'm not a football fan. You won't catch me set every weekend following the games or looking at charts. But I love the atmosphere of live events and always watch major games like World Cup, Euros, AFCON, etc. in the final rounds because I love the excitement in the air. We host friends or go to parties specifically for this, and I genuinely enjoy watching the game, like screaming at the players like I could do better, enjoy lol. My husband loves this because he finds it funny how invested I get, and says he likes it when I watch with him and get involved.
I think we can see where the story is going to take us. The wife is writing how she enjoys time with her husband watching sports games, even though she isn't a fan herself, and enjoys it because she gets a reaction from her husband for being a hater. Isn't this the very same reaction her husband displays towards her favorite musician? Couldn't his comments be seen as playful hater comments? She specifically says she enjoys saying how she could do better than the professional athletes she watches, yet gets mad how her husband criticizes that musician for their poor music skills. If you think the 2 situations are similar, type Q2 red in the comments. If you think they are not at all similar, type Q2 blue.
I got my husband tickets to the Euros semifinal where our country was playing. I booked a hotel as soon as it was clear that the game was going ahead, and I was getting excited. I was very excited and telling people about it, only for my husband to say he's taking his friend. I asked why, and he made a reference to how I took someone else to the concert, so he's taking his friend. I told him that was different because he wouldn't have enjoyed the concert. I would enjoy the game, and I was very looking forward to it. And I had apologized. He said doesn't matter, his tickets, his rules, and went with his friend. I was obviously very hurt by him going out of his way to get even when I thought this was water under the bridge.
Her husband uses her same logic to invite one of his friends to the game she gifted to him, just as she had done when she invited her sister to the performance her husband had purchased for her. She says that since she apologized then, that means her husband shouldn't have used her same logic against her this time. However, do you think simply apologizing was enough? Her husband told her before her trip that he expected to go with her, and she didn't budge and still took her sister. It seems that she mostly apologized because the situation caused trouble for her relationship and not really sorry for taking her sister over her husband. But does that mean her husband has the right to do the same thing back to her, knowing how hurtful he felt by her previous actions? If you think the husband had the right to invite his friend over his wife for the tickets she bought for him, type Q3 red in the comments. If you think the wife had the right to complain about him inviting someone else over her, type Q3 blue.
I was hosting a social for the final, and his mom asked how it felt to be at a live event after so long. I told her I didn't go because her son chose not to take me. We got into a back and forth, and I ended up calling him a petty, childish a-hole, and it kind of ruined the vibe for our guests. Am I the a-hole?
It's one thing to have a disagreement with your spouse in public, but to air your private dirty laundry for others to see is another. She ruined the get-together for everyone else because she thought it was totally appropriate to call her husband an a-hole in front of his own mother. Or maybe I'm wrong and he got what he deserves for being inconsiderate of her as well. What do you think? If you think the OP was correct to call out her husband in public, type Q4 blue in the comments. If you think that it was completely inappropriate to do that, then type Q4 red. Now, let's get to the conclusion to this story.
Edit. Thanks for your input. The odds tell me I'm getting an a-hole judgment. Some voted we were both wrong, and a minority that I wasn't wrong. Duly noted. I'm logging out of this account, so you won't be hearing from me, but thanks for engaging. As some of you may know, the Euro 4 months ago. We've generally moved past it. There is still some disagreement about how things went down and what responsibility is to be taken for what and by whom. Thanks to all who remained civil in their engagement.
So, it seems she was generally marked as the a-hole in this situation and writes it is duly noted by her. Yet she later writes that she still has disagreements with her husband over the situation about who has what blame. If you were not going to truly take the opinions of others into account anyway, then why ask for feedback at all? Or is she in the right to still argue her case despite what the consensus is? Also, it seems the couple have not let this go and it is still impacting their relationship despite so much time passing by now. If you think she has the right to continue to argue for her case, then type Q5 blue in the comments. If you think she should let it go and listen to the consensus of the public, then type Q5 red. Now let's listen to a few comments from the public.
You're the a-hole only for how you responded. He's right. You didn't take him to the concert and threw it in his face that they were your tickets to do with as you please. And you're mad when he does the same. Only difference is that he didn't call you names when you did it to him.
This. You're the a-hole. You set the precedent that tickets are gifts to be used as the recipient wants. You got exactly what you deserved, and now you're bitter. The only child I see having a tantrum and being a hypocrite here is you. You both might want to have a conversation before tickets are gifted again.
You're the a-hole, Jesus. If you want to buy your significant other something for the two of you to do together, make that the gift. Don't just give them 2 tickets. Make the gift a card with, I'm taking you to X. Yeah, sorry, you really disrespected your husband to your mother about something that should have been between the two of you. People don't disrespect your significant other like that. But also, you are a giant hypocrite. No, it's exactly the same. You don't get to decide if he would have had a bad time. You didn't give him the chance to have a good or a bad time. He wanted to go. You went with someone else instead. Now he's doing the exact same thing to you and you're mad. Stop it.
You're the a-hole. Your husband is 100% correct. You're beyond childish for trying to justify you taking your sister over your husband, then getting upset when your husband did the same with his friend. His tickets, his rules. You not only made the matter into a public ordeal, but you disrespected your husband.
You're the a-hole. You started throwing a public fit for your husband having the same rule you made. Either the tickets are for both of you or for whoever the one person they are for to decide what to do with, the rule you made. Came close to a everyone sucks here, but the husband has a right to take a friend if he wants, even if it is petty. And OP is being hypocritical about this.
Rating this one would essentially be taking sides to a bizarre argument. It's easy to understand why you took your sister if he wasn't a fan of the artist. You just said you weren't the biggest fan of the sport. Instead of getting upset, isn't this a win-win all around? It was until you called him names, which was unnecessary at this point. Both of you need to stop keeping score on stupid arguments.
Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching all the way to the end and participating. Please consider liking and subscribing to watch future videos. Goodbye.